Hello there, my lovely darklings. It's your fave witch Jamila Anahata back with another video. Thank you so much for watching and welcome to Metal Mealtime. I'm a holistic lifestyle coach and tarot reader who wishes to empower your divinity in order for you to elevate from your darkness. If that is of any interest to you, you can visit me at thesoulfulveganista.com to check out my services. And in today's Metal Mealtime, I have my famous chickpea salad. I have been doing chickpea salad for years and years, and each time I make it, my recipe gets better and better. And I would love to share that with you all today as one of my plant-based recipes. As you know, I'm a holistic lifestyle coach. I love to eat plant-based, whole foods. I love to make my own food, even though as a foodie, I do love to go to different types of restaurants, different type of vegan places, especially since I'm in Baltimore and we have tons of them. I like to make my own food, not only because I know what's in it, but because I can put my own love into it. I know what to avoid, I know what I like, I know what flavors I like to put into my own food, and if anything, it just feels good to have your own home cooking. So I want to show you, lovelies, one of my favorite recipes. Once again, it is chickpea salad. So let's get started, shall we? I always start off first with some chopped onion. It's a white onion. You can use yellow onion as well for a nice little bit of a tang. If you want red onion, that's a bit of a challenge because you already know it's very pungent. So if that's your thing, no judgment. But I like to chop up an onion. You could possibly even chop up some celery, maybe cube or some celery. You could probably even do some red pepper if you're into that type of thing. Maybe even some julienne carrots. You could probably even have chopped carrots. Either way, having little crunchy things like this that add a little bit of flavor, kick, and crunch to your chickpea salad is a great idea. Other than that, you're probably just going to have a bunch of mush, and that's not necessarily a problem, to each their own, but I always like to have a little bit of a crunch and a little bit of a tang in my chickpea salad, and onion always comes first. And of course, you can't forget your chickpeas. This is a 29 ounce, a 1 pound and 13 ounce can that we get from our local market. And it works very well because we don't have to soak them overnight. If you like to have dried beans, especially if you buy them in bulk at your local market, that's amazing. However, we like to get them canned and it's no salt added. Very, very delicious. And as you know, canned foods last a really long time. So even if we forgot about these chickpeas, we could have them in there for up to 3 years according to the expiration date. So that's why I love to have my canned foods. I'm just gonna set that aside for recycling, of course. And I'm going to chop up my onions. So how I like to chop up my onions is to dice them. So what I will do is cutting them long ways this way, turning it over and doing the same on the opposite side. And that just comes out with the perfect dice type of texture and dice type of look. If you have your own technique for that, wonderful, but this is my favorite. I like to also like cut mine into rings and then chop them up from there. But this is just an easier way, especially since you want them to be evenly dispersed about your chickpea salad. All right, so let's get to chopping. So once again, I'm just cutting them. They already have an indentation of it because we have done that in the past, but I just want to make sure that it's a little deeper so I can still have that diced outcome, that diced result. All right, so I'm just going to be chopping it down the side. Alrighty, now my onions are all chopped. I don't like to do too much because it'll like take away from the flavor, and there is good crunch and then there's too much crunch, so I just want to keep it at that. And the next step is to mash the chickpeas. Everyone has their own tactic in order to do that. Some people like to use a spoon and mash up against it. Some people like to take a jar and just mash on it. Some people probably even like to use their hands when doing that. And all those things are not necessarily mine. What I like to use is the help of my lovely fellow metalhead husband, who likes to mash it up with one of the mugs that we have. And it's flat right here at the bottom, so it's a great way to mash it up, especially on the sides. So however you do it is completely up to you. This is our tactic, so I'm just gonna allow him to come up and do that part for me. Just put some muscle into it, you know what I'm saying? So yes. My boo is a fellow metalhead, and he's also a bass player who plays metal. His name is Alex Weber, and you can find him on Instagram, on Facebook, even online in general, just as Alex Weber Bass.
One thing that can help when you're smashing it, especially with something flat like this, is to kind of twist the mug or jar or whatever it is, and that can kind of help you mash them faster and to mix it up at the same time. Or at least that's how I've been doing it.
And now that we're done mashing, or now that Alex just got done mashing, he's going to wait for me to finish this up so we can both have lunch.
I'm getting hungry.
Yes, so am I. So this is going to be a delicious savory.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so now that we got the mashing out of the way, now I can put my onions into my bowl. And once I do that comes the fun part, at least for me. Because this is a bound salad, and bound salads are salads that are bound together through things like mayo, really just mayo. And our favorite things to make for lunch, especially now that it's hot, now that it's the summer, are things like bound salads, like a chickpea salad. We also like to use an extra firm block of tofu for egg salad. I mean, technically you can call it just tofu salad, but that doesn't sound as appetizing as egg salad, or clearly plant-based or vegan egg salad. So I'm just putting in my onions, and once again, we love to have that pungent crunch in our bound salad, in our chickpea salad. So now that I put the onions into my mixture, I'm going to start off with the wet ingredients. And that is going to be mayonnaise, or vegan mayonnaise, or mayo, whatever you like to call it. I like to have some sriracha. And if you didn't know, in this time of the world, there is a shortage of red peppers or red chili peppers that go into actual sriracha. So it's been out of stock in most places, even most restaurants, even sushi places, I've noticed. Wild, I know. So we like to have some sriracha in it, or a chili sauce, or whatever you can find that's accessible to you. And my secret ingredient in my chickpea salad, what makes it my thing, that I give it a little kick to, how I put my foot into this, is some sweet hot mustard. I get this at my local market, so I'm not too sure if you have something equivalent in your area. I'm sure you can find it anywhere, but there's something about this that is just so good. It's amazing, top tier. And I love to have it with bound salads, sandwiches, just anything that can just give something a nice pungent sip. Yes, once again, my mayo, my sriracha sauce, and my sweet hot mustard. I'm just going to put in however much I feel into this. We don't have a specific recipe. However, I know I probably put in about one-half to, I would say 1/2 to 3/4 cup of mayo, maybe even more than that. Sometimes I can have a heavy hand, but if you like that sometimes. So I'm going to put in about 1/2 to 3/4 cup, maybe even 1 whole cup of mayonnaise, or vegan mayonnaise. I'm probably going to stop there. And of course you can just add more as you go along. And plus, you can just add more in, but you can't take out some at the end. So I try to be light-handed when it comes to that. Sometimes it happens more than others. So I'm going to be adding some sriracha. And now my secret ingredient, some sweet hot mustard. So good, so zippy and tangy, and it's perfect because it gives you like the perfect sweet savoriness to it. I am somebody who really likes sweet and savory in pretty much all types of cuisines. So having this in there doesn't just give it that saltiness that you usually like in a bound salad like chickpea salad, but it gives it like a sweet little tang. It almost reminds me of having something tropical in the summer. Even though it's not a tropical flavored meal or dish, there's just something that gives me island vibes, relaxation vibes, especially now that it's summer. And now that we've got all the wet ingredients out of the way, now it is on to the spices, my favorite part, because this is where everything comes alive and everything just pops. So I have my garlic powder. Of course, I put in as much as I feel with that. I have some paprika, we're running low, but we like to keep it a little bit light on that because we have other ingredients that I'll get to in a second that already basically have paprika in it. Some onion powder, of course, even though we have onions in it. onion powder always goes in big dishes no matter what. It just gives it the creaminess, the savoriness, the depth that a dish, especially a savory dish, needs. Of course, some black pepper. I have some nutritional yeast. And a little bit of red pepper because why not? We like it spicy over here. And of course, especially as a Merlin girl, I have to have my Old Bay. And to add on top of that is some Slap Your Mama, because seasonings are seasonings. It doesn't matter what kind of brand it is, we just like it over here. And once again, I feel like seasoning salts like this give things a lot of dimension. It gives you barbecue vibes, summer barbecue vibes that I really, really like in foods like this. So I'm going to add everything in and then stir it up. All right, now that I just got done putting in the spices, I did the wet ingredients first, dry ingredients last. Here is the outcome so far. So everything is just a pile of herbs, a pile of goop at the moment, but I'm going to mix it all together and that will be the final result. And I'm so excited about it because just what my husband said earlier, it is lunchtime for us and we are very hungry, so we cannot wait to chow down. Okay, let's get the stirring. Alright, stir, stir, stir. And along the way, you can even mash some chickpeas along the side of your bowl if it's not mushed enough for you. Usually what we like to have is about 70-ish% of our chickpeas mashed whenever we do this. And you can definitely do that if you see that it's too chunky for your liking. Stir, stir, stir. Okay, so I am back with the finished result. I got done with all the stirring, we put in all of our ingredients, we mashed it up, put in the onions and all that type of stuff. And now it is time for the taste test. I'll show you what it looks like shortly, but so far, so good. Okay, so let's see how this tastes, shall we? Let's give it a little bit, and I'll give you an up-close look very shortly. But I'm just gonna have a little bit on my spoon and let you know how it tastes for me. So of course, I'm biased. Of course, I'm going to love my own recipe because I made it just for me. Of course, I also made it for everyone else that has it. This is literally my perfect type of chickpea salad. Once again, it's a little bit spicy. It has some smoky undertones because of the paprika. It has that backyard barbecue feeling from all the Old Bay and the Slap Your Mama. It has the tang from the sweet hot mustard. It has all the zest and creaminess coming from the parsley and dill. It's just absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love this, and I know you will too. So now we've reached the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know, are you going to try this recipe? Are you someone who likes to try out chickpea recipes or like plant-based recipes at your home as well? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe for more content, and once again, visit me at thesoulfulveganista.com to check out my services. Thank you for joining me for Metal Mealtime. Much love, and until next time, my lovely darklings. Bye-bye.